Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it is your first time here. Today we're doing something a little different, and that's flying on a week-old Jetstar A320neo on a just under 3-hour flight from Uluru to Sydney.
We hope you've enjoyed your stay out here in the beautiful Uluru Covered National.
We started the day with a quick 10-minute coach ride from our hotel that brought us directly to Ayers Airport. The airport experience was pretty much as you'd expect for a smaller regional hub, so it was pretty quick and breezy. Check-in, security, boarding was all smooth sailing. There's no dramatic gate agents this time, thankfully. The terminal had just 2 small gates and 2 relatively large seating areas to chill out while you wait to board your flight. The terminal was a little bit retro, but it had really good air conditioning and there was enough seating for everybody, so really no complaints here. There was also a little cafe where you could buy some snacks and stuff to bring on the plane as well if you're that way inclined. Over to the left of the gates, there is a seating area with views of the apron and the runway. I was hoping I could see our plane coming into land, but you'll see it flying overhead in a second, so it came in the opposite direction. So good to see it flying overhead though. And as it did come to pull in, it did pull up right outside the window. So got some lovely views of that brand new A320neo. So while the plane pulls up to the window, I'll just talk you through the inclusions for our fare today. So we had booked it through Jetstar Holidays, which automatically books you a Jetstar starter fare, which includes absolutely nothing. But luckily, since November 2023, Jetstar allows free standard seat selection, a 7 kg carry-on item, and a 20 kg check bag for any tickets sold as part of a Jetstar holiday package. My partner didn't realize this, so he purchased another 20 kg checked bag, which meant we had a combined 60 kg checked luggage allowance for a 3-day trip, which we came nowhere close to using. There is a whole variety of different fare types available when booking outside of a Jetstar holiday package as well, but I won't bore you with all the ins and outs of these different inclusions, at least not today. I think we all know that Jetstar is your typical low-fare airline and you can expect to pay for almost everything. Here's a really brief overview of the different fare types that Jetstar offers, but as I said, I'm not going to bore you with the ins and outs. I'll save that for another time. Okay, now that the stairs have been pushed up to that brand new A320neo, let's look at the seat that we're in for today. So we're in 1F, which is a bulkhead row. And as we get on board, you can see that the cabin is nice and fresh. No damage, no stains, no wear and tear. It was absolutely beautiful to see. As we were getting on board, we were greeted by a crew member who had served us 3 days prior on the flight from Sydney. And she did actually remember us and said hello again, which was cute to see, especially for a low-cost carrier. You don't really expect crew to remember you at all. We ended up getting lucky and there was just the 2 of us in the 3 seats, so we could spread out and use the middle seat as a table during the flight. The legroom was more than enough. I'm 6'2", and there was tons of space to spread my legs. Taking a look at the seat before we take off, you get access to a charging port, which has USB-A and USB-C slots. Keep in mind, if you're in a bulkhead row like us, there is only 2 charging ports between the 3 seats. So if the flight is full, you may need to fight your seat neighbor. Thankfully, it was just the 2 of us in 3 seats anyway, so we were fine. We got our own charging ports each. You do also get a phone or a tablet holder in the tray table, which was something I hadn't seen before, which was pretty cool. If you're in a standard row, you'll get your own USB-A and USB-C slot in the seat back in front, and you'll get a phone/tablet holder in the seat back in front as well. Above our heads, we had individual air vents, which was fantastic. Thank you, Jetstar. And then you've obviously got your reading lights as well. The cushioning in the seat was relatively minimal. I don't think they'll age too well, so I'd give this a 3 out of 5 at best. It was fine for a 3-hour flight though, but I wouldn't want to sit here too much longer. Just before we push back and the crew start their manual safety briefing, here is a quick look at the safety card, and then we'll get ready to go. This little Qantas Link plane was meant to take off 2 hours before our departure and ended up with an 8-hour and 50-minute delay overall due to a technical issue, so very unfortunate for those passengers having to sit in that small little airport all day. We headed on down the runway to do a U-turn before we spooled up those fresh engines to take us to Sydney.
Seatbelt sign is still switched on. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until it has been turned off. Once it is, we ask you limit your movements around the cabin and do not change seats during this flight unless speaking to a crew member first. For your safety, we do recommend keeping your seatbelt fastened at all times, just in case of any unexpected turbulence. For your comfort, there are 3 toilets on board, one at the front and 2 at the rear of the cabin. Baby change tables have been fitted. If you'd like something to eat or drink, take a look through the Jetstar menu in your seat pocket. We now accept all major credit cards with contactless payment available. Jetstar reserves the right to limit the amount of alcohol that may be consumed on this flight.
The food menu for Jetstar has your typical low-cost carrier items, my personal favourite being a basic ham and cheese toastie, which you really can't go wrong with. We had purchased Onboard credit in advance, which saved us $1 versus buying on board. It was $14 for $15 credit, and this got us a Toastie and a Pepsi in the combo deal. The Toastie itself was as expected. It had ham, it had cheese, it was toasted, and the view was great. I'd give it a solid 4 out of 5. It lost a star just because it was a smidge on the dry side, but beyond that it was as I would expect. After lunch I had a look at the Wi-Fi-IFE, which was as expected, had an additional charge. The prices were reasonable, just $7 for full access and $5 for kids access, whatever that is, but I couldn't justify it for a flight of this length when I had a book to read anyway. They did have a free in-flight map you could look at to track the flight's progress, and some Jetstar videos if you're really desperate for some free entertainment. To be honest, I would just bring your own book, tablet, laptop, whatever it is that tickles your pickle, and just entertain yourself for the flight. Now for one of my most exciting toilet tours. as it is brand new, obviously. The toilet itself was really fresh, clean. It was actually maintained by the crew as well, which is good to see. Had this weird seat though, which I'm not sure what purpose that serves. So if anybody knows, please let me know in the comments below. Can't quite think as to why you'd need to sit in there, but anyway, that was a feature. The tap was not motion sensing. Unsure why they wouldn't opt for that in 2025, but it is a low-cost carrier, so we'll let them away with it. The hand soap, as with all Jetstar Australia flights, is stolen from Qantas. It's just your classic basic hand soap. It's nothing fancy at all. And yeah, the toilet itself was just generally nice and it was kept clean for the flight, so really no complaints on here. I should point out this is the toilet just behind the cockpit as well. So considering its location, it is very nice and spacious. Nothing to do with Jetstar, but I just prefer the front toilets on a A320 compared to a 737. And here we go, I used the tap correctly. The cabin design itself features Airbus's latest design, which is known as Airspace, which gives the illusion of having larger windows, which did actually feel like the windows were larger than previous models, even though they actually aren't. Then you've got mood lighting throughout, so that beautiful LED colored lighting. And then you've got those extra large overhead lockers too, which is fantastic. Here's another close-up of those USB-A and USB-C slots underneath the seats as well.
Cabin crew, prepare the cabin for landing.
We will shortly be landing. Please ensure your baggage and all personal belongings, including laptops, are safely stowed. Your tray table must be stowed, seat bags upright, armrests down, window blinds open, and your seatbelt fastened ready for landing. Electronic devices should now be removed from seat back holders. Please remove all cables from the seat back charging ports. Please review the safety card found in your seat pocket, as it contains important safety information. In an emergency, leave all baggage on board.
The seatbelt sign has now been switched on for landing. Please make sure your seatbelt and the seatbelt of infants and children travelling with you is now fastened. The cabin crew team will now be seated for landing. Thank you.
Sydney. Jetstar would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land. We would also like to pay our respects to elders past and present. please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign has been turned off. If your mobile phone is within reach of our turn flight mode off, just remember you're unable to use it on the tarmac. Before you head off, double check you have everything with you and be careful when opening the overhead lockers just in case any luggage has moved during the flight. Today we'll be using the forward left-hand door only to disembark. A reminder to please hold on to the handrail as you descend the stairs and follow any directions given to you by the Jetstar staff to the terminal building. And finally, a reminder that smoking, vaping and the use of e-cigarettes is strictly prohibited whilst walking across the tarmac and in the terminal. On behalf of the entire crew, I'd like to thank you for choosing to fly Jetstar today. We do hope you enjoyed your flight and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you and good afternoon.
Now, before we disembark, let's take a look at the butt food and service rating. The butt rating, that gets 3 out of 5. Those seats need a little bit more cushioning to get anything more. Food, that gets a 4 out of 5. The toastie was just a little bit too dry. Beyond that, it was perfect. The service, that gets a 5 out of 5. The cabin crew were absolutely amazing. They were efficient, they were friendly, they all just seemed relatively happy to be there, which was just unexpected. I don't think it had anything to do with the plane being brand new, just because we had some crew members that were on our previous flight, which was an older generation of aircraft, a lot older. So I'm not sure what might motivate Jetstar crew differently to Qantas, given that they are related companies. So if anybody knows, please let me know in the comment section below. Or maybe I'm just unlucky with the experiences I've had with Qantas, but if you have any insights, please do let me know. Really do want to hear about your own experiences and what you think the difference might be. This gives Jetstar an overall rating of 4 out of 5, which is pretty spectacular, so well done Jetstar. I will also have a video coming out shortly which covers off Jetstar's A320, so the classic A320, just for comparison. Spoiler alert though, the service on this flight was also great too. And if you're thinking this video might be sponsored by Jetstar, it absolutely is not. I pay for all my own flights myself, so you can rest assured it is just honest opinions. Thank you very much for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you've made it this far, please do like and subscribe. I've got a lot more content on the way. And please also let me know in the comments your experiences with Qantas and Jetstar. If you've got anything wildly different to what I'm experiencing, I really do want to hear from you.